Hey guys, what's up? My name is Fox and welcome to another video. In this short video, I will go over the skills and tripods that I suggest running on your sorcerers while leveling. Please remember, some skills only unlock once you reach a certain level. The last skill and the awakening skill are unlocked while doing the Northern main story, and Beatrice will mention for you to visit her in Trixion. As a general guideline, I do suggest to mess around a bit with the skills so that you can have some fun and discover maybe a skill that you really enjoy. If you are more on the side of optimizing, this video is for you. Once you have created your character, you then already of course get access to skills. One simple rule to follow: more skills is better. Simply because a skill at the start might not be the best option does not mean you should not use it. Before we talk about the skills, it is also super important to focus on the right combat stats. Obviously, item level is king, but you should look to find jewelry that has crit, swiftness or specialization on it. These stats are in general always helpful and contribute to your kit. Now that that's out of the way, let's have a look at the skills that you actually want to use. An only skill you definitely want to keep throughout your leveling journey is Blaze. It has decent AoE damage for mobbing, but also helps you with the tripod damage amplification, which makes it so that your target takes 6% more damage from your other skills. I really suggest keeping this skill at all times on your hotbar. I also would keep it to level 4 and use my additional points later on in other skills. Early on into your journey, you want to start using Seraphic Hail. It launches a wave in front of you and simply damages enemies. Good for clearing waves of mobs, but also decent damage on single target. I would personally suggest to get this skill to level 7 ASAP, to then use the tripod's quick preparation and additional explosion. Less cooldown means more water waves, and the additional explosion is both useful for AoE and for single target. At later stages around level 45 or higher, you can also upgrade this skill to level 10, to then use the additional tripod weak point detection to enhance your single target boss damage. Another really good skill to use while leveling is the Punishing Strike. It simply calls forth a giant thunderstroke where your cursor is located to then inflict massive damage to your foes. This is a perfect AoE damage skill, which is why we're going to enhance it even more. Wide angle attack and electric discharge are the tripods to use to make sure that no mob escapes your lightning wrath and is destroyed in a single attack. If you want to, you can also pump this skill later on to level 10 and use the additional tripod magic amplification to enhance its damage during your arcane rupture, which is your identity skill. Next up on our list is Frost's Call. Already decent without any skill points, but even better with skill points of course. Pushing this to level 7 will make it an instant cast, which in general just feels better to use. The two tripods you want to use with this skill are Enlightenment and Unstable Rule. This guarantees the insta-cast and also generates more of your identity gauge. Lastly, this skill can also be up to level 10, where you would then put your last points into Enhanced Strike. Moving on to Explosion, one of the core skills from the Sorceress. When casting Explosion, you are summoning a flaming projectile that launches into a direction until it explodes on impact or when reaching max range. This skill has a significant cooldown, yet it is a master of all because you have really vital tripods that I suggest with Law of the Jungle and weak point detection, which increases your damage to mobs and to bosses at the same time, which again makes this skill great for any situation. Again, also here, you can fit in more points into magic amplification to enhance the skill's damage during your identity. With all of these skill choices, we are already stacked on damage at this point, but we also want to look into getting some more mobility into our build. In dungeons and certain areas, you cannot use your mount, so we want to get Allegiance Touch to increase our movement speed in those areas or just in general. So with Allegiance Touch, you opt for MP recovery and swift footwork, which is the reason why we take this skill in the first place. Also make sure to end it manually for the free MP recovery. Another skill I highly suggest is the Esoteric reaction. When you cast it, you create a magic crystal at your cursor location, where it then charges up and is followed up with an explosion. It is good for single target damage, but also to clear out a few mobs. In terms of tripod choice, I would go for Quick Prepare and Enhanced Strike. This skill, unlike others, can stay at level 7 and doesn't need to be upgraded necessarily. And lastly, we are on our last skill. But there is none. Reason being is that you don't have enough skill points to upgrade this skill. So what I want you to do is to just take a skill that you enjoy and put it on your hotbar. The game is not all about optimizing, so please make sure to enjoy yourself while you are leveling already. What is really great about the Sorceress is that the skills that you are using while leveling are also viable for later on. Not all of them, but some of them. Depending on the build you are going to pursue, most of these skills will actually stay. This means already early on you can develop some of your muscle memory to get used to using your skills. And with that, we're already at the end of the video. If you guys liked the video, make sure to hit that like button, and if you want more of this type of content of leveling builds or in general just helpful content, make sure to check out my channel. I already have a lot of videos, and I'm also going to make more videos to make sure that you know exactly what you're doing in Lost Ark. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day wherever you live.